Welcome to the 30-Minute Hour. It's the personal development podcast for entrepreneurs who are looking to level up and become unstoppable. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs, your procrastination prevention partner. Joining me as always, you know him as the super CEO, the business strategist extraordinaire, and all-around good guy, Ted Fells.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So look, Eric, I got this new mic, right? This new fancy mic that I won't be, right? It's hot, right? That I won't be using today because I haven't figured it out. So I'm going to put it back to the side and do it like
instructions. None of us men ever want to read the instructions.
Instructions. No. So yeah, happy Monday. It's great to be here. Was it the first day of spring or the second day of spring?
I think it's officially the first day of spring.
First day of spring. Wow. This is great.
Absolutely.
Good and happy to be here.
Man, so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on the show tonight. Lisa and I have been talking about it all day. Really excited to be here.
Folks, excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. This is, again, one of these shows that's going to take away excuses from people. You know, we have people who are listening to us right now that feel like, you know what, I had this setback or I made this mistake and I can't move forward because of it. This episode should take away those excuses and really help you to think about what's possible. You know, sometimes you can be down, you can feel like you're hitting rock bottom, but you can still achieve what's possible. We'll get into that, and we'll actually give our guest a formal introduction here in just a second. But you know, Ted, I'm also excited that this is episode number 158.
Wow. Congratulations.
158.
158 episodes of the 30.
God working powerfully here.
Man, I'm telling you, man. And no one thought we'd get past 157. And look at it. Look at where we are.
Never say it can't be done.
Won't he do it?
Yeah, the office pool had us at 157, but we surpassed that. So
That's right.
But as you can see, this is not your everyday podcast.
Right.
You know, we do things a little different here on the 30-Minute Hour. You can watch us live. Shout out to those of you that are logging on right now. You can watch us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube by going to the page titled The 30-Minute Hour. Check us out. And I would say, too, those of you that are watching us live, make sure you're commenting. Say hello. We'd love the opportunity to answer your questions in real time and dialogue back and forth with you. We also have people that listen to the replays on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and any of those other apps where you like to consume your podcasting content. So we're definitely excited about that. Don't forget about the What Now movement. That's the Facebook group. Make sure you go in and join the What Now movement Facebook group if you haven't done so already. Monday is Marketing Monday. You can go in and share your links, and we'd be happy to like and share and help to put you out there with our What Now movement community. So there's a lot going on. It's exciting times. And Ted?
Yes, Eric?
I've got something that's on my mind.
Please share.
All right. So I want to talk today about achieving what's possible after hitting rock bottom. Achieving what's possible after hitting rock bottom. My son, back when he was 4 years old, he had this habit. He would fall down and he would look for sympathy. Especially if my wife was anywhere in the room. He'd have this little stumble. There's a minor stumble. And he'd see my wife and she'd pick him up. He'd be looking for sympathy. And so I'd verify that he was okay. And then I would talk to him. I would say, son, you gotta be tough. Be tough, be tough, be tough. Son, be tough. And after I verified he was okay, Ted, I'm that kind of dad. I want to make sure he's okay.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I would say, you have to be tough. You got to be tough. And it felt like my words were just falling on deaf ears because he would just keep doing that. He would fall down, minor scrape, look for sympathy. But then one day, he fell down and he was about to cry. And he gathered himself. And he stood up. And he said, "No, Daddy, I got to be tough. and just walked on. Here's the big takeaway from that. Why did I tell you that story? What does that have to do with today? This is the part of the show where we just need people, people that listen to us driving. This is the time where we need you to pull over to the side of the road. Right? We need your undivided attention. You're listening to us in the gym. We just need you to hit the pause on the treadmill button. That's right. We need your focus. Ted, is there anything else we need the people to do right about now?
Tom, you got to put the ham sandwich down, Tom. This is the time, no matter how good that sandwich is, you got to put the sandwich down because it's about to get good.
How did you know I eat when I do these things, man? Come on, man.
So here's the big takeaway. Here's why I told you that story about my son. Because you can't achieve victory with the self-talk of a victim. Let me say it again.
Yeah, get out of me.
You can't achieve victory with the self-talk of a victim. Right? We go through these experiences in life where it feels like we've fallen down. The last thing you want to do is just look for sympathy. Right? You have to get back up. You have to choose the words that will inspire you to gather yourself and to get back up again. And that's what our guest had to do, right? So our guest, he experienced a season of rock bottom that forced him from jail to a homeless shelter, not even 5 cents to his name. Bought a piece of crap laptop for $40 worth of food stamps. He got an Obama phone and set up his office in front of Douglasville, Georgia Public Library in order to have an internet connection. Within 6 months of this, he was earning on average $15,000 per month in new client retainers. He's done. So today he is an accomplished public speaker. He speaks to groups, associations, Chamber of Commerce, and more with his intense workshop based on his book, Shut Up and Sell, which is an awesome title. We have to get into that.
I love the title.
Just shut up and sell.
Stop all that talk and get out there and sell.
Exactly.
Please join me.
Sorry, but
Yes, Tom Pilotti.
Thank you. Take a bow. Thank you.
All right,
Ted,
Tom.
to dovetail on what you said, it's so funny because one of the things that I teach people or talk to them about is when they're talking about that struggle, when you sitting there and you ain't know where to go. I said, man, you starving to death, but you sitting on a ham sandwich. Come on.
That's it.
And that's what you've got to do. What does the Bible tell us? Use what you have in your house. And even when you ain't got nothing, you have God's given abilities. And if you want to just cry about it and expect it to happen magically, you're gonna stay stuck. Okay? And it's a story that, man, I don't know what I was doing today. Actually, we were sitting in and I read your notes about the show. And man, I read the start from over and man, I broke. I mean, till to this day, it's so poignant. But when you in it, you don't realize it. But if anything else for you guys and the listeners, man, I'm a messenger of hope. Okay, if I can do it, you can do it. And we set up those kind of odds. And Eric was very kind. He didn't read the rest of the bullshit that said ERs, jails, psych wards. Man, you name it, it's a shopping list, bro. I'm a pretty smart guy, but I was in the mess for 10 years. Lost my stuff 10, 15 times. So when it comes to building back better, man, I got to figure it out. I don't wish that upon anybody. So again, my message to anybody who's struggling, Eric said, man, God has a plan. And you may not get it right every time. Dude, I make mistakes every day. Okay? But I also know that God has a purpose. And if God wanted me dead or locked up for the rest of my life, I'd have been there. But there's a plan for my life to be used by him. And in my heart of hearts, I know it's to give hope to somebody. So I didn't have a lot when I was doing it. My family turned their back on me. I was alone and hungry. Okay? So the reason I share that is that if somebody feels that they can't work with me because of my background, man, you ain't my people. I got to go. Call me when it hurts some more, and I'll come back and fix it. Okay, so it's not arrogance. It's a matter of knowing your worth and being help people. That's really what it's about, man. I didn't mean to interrupt y'all. I know you have an agenda, Eric, and I want to make sure that this flows your guys' way.
Now, we're definitely grateful for having you on and being transparent. It's now we're in this time where you look on social media, everybody's kid is on the honor roll, everybody just got the new house, everybody got the new car, has the new car. But people
and Eric, I can't ever recall seeing somebody with a ribbon wrapped around a car. Like you see that, I'm like, well, I don't ever see a car in front of my house with a big old ribbon around.
That's made in those commercials made by people in New York City who think you're gonna buy that bullshit. It ain't true.
Man.
So we appreciate you being transparent. But just for the benefit of our audience, can you share some of the details of your story as far as even you talk about the substance abuse and homeless shelters? So how you get from there to where you are today as America's sales and marketing coach?
Amen. Happy to do it, guys. I'll be brief. Basically, coming up through a very strict and rigid Italian-American home, Ted, you can imagine my dad's delight as a retired NYPD officer of 20 years, seeing his kid's mugshot in the paper for doing some really stupid stuff. Okay. I had all that weight on me. Got out of school, learned everything I knew about life at a young age on the streets, and excelled in everything from sports to business for that need to be loved and wanted, so to speak. We talk about, well, I had a crap upbringing. It's still tough to get to the point where, well, your folks did the best they could. Well, man, I got all this crap I'm carrying around. You still have to come to grips with it. So I excelled in college. I went to work for the college newspaper, blew that out, went from there working for the Fort Lauderdale News Sun Sentinel as an advertising guy. First year out of college, running around with my hair on fire, making $60,000, $70,000 a year. I'm like, what in the world? South Florida, nobody wants to work. I decided I wanted to work. From there, I was introduced to a headhunter at the folks at 3M, the people who make Post-it notes. They were the largest billboard company in the United States. So here comes this young punk kid. All the people that worked there were old. They've been there forever. Okay. And all of a sudden, here comes this kid. And within 2.5 years, I was the #1 guy in the country. And again, I don't say this to brag because this is God's gift that he had given me to be able to work. But it's also using the gifts and talents that God gives you to help people. And he expects us, like the parable of the talents. You're going to bury your talent or you're going to use it, help people, and help your master. So from there, I had worked for 3M, become #1. At that point, I had requested a transfer to Atlanta. When my daughter Christina was born, she was born with a heart defect. She had a hole in her heart. And we lived in Boca Raton, Florida. I went to Florida Atlantic University. And it was very hard for her to breathe. Even at the end of the day, I would take her to the park and she was huffing and puffing. So I said, hey, man, I know there's a position in Atlanta, would like to go. Sure, Tom, you can go, but we can't pay for your move. No worries, I got it. Literally, guys, at the 11th hour, this new CEO, whatever, called and said, Tom, we see that you were a busboy in high school and you're not qualified to move. I said, really? Watch this. So I quit a $98,000 a year job, company car, insurance, and everything else, much to, at that point, my ex-wife's chagrin. And we moved to Atlanta. And when I tell you, I starved for a year. We starved for a year. Went back hat in hand to the billboard industry and went to work for a company called US Media, a billboard company there. And by myself, there were 6 other people. By myself, I doubled the annual revenue of that company. And again, I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it to, we all have gifts and talents. Are you using them? I had the privilege of selling billboard advertising into the 1996 Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta. And when I tell you we sold advertising on the sides of stray dogs and garbage cans, I'm not kidding you. You know, I was out there selling billboards to Nike 3 years in advance of the Olympic Games for $22,000 a month, and they couldn't wait to pay it. It becomes a altered reality when you see what this stuff trades for in the world of guerrilla marketing. So once the Olympics were done, the billboard business in Atlanta dried up. There were no advertisers and plenty of empty space. I got tired of working for the man. Between us guys, I got tired of working for people I was smarter than. I hung out a shingle, bought an old historic home. I started teaching what I learned because I'm self-taught. I'm a classically trained advertising guy, and God has given me the ability, Eric, as we talked about, to reach people where they're at, to help them understand how to get to point A, to point B, point C. And that's what I did. I started teaching. I've done it for years. I had a client hire me last year who came to one of my seminars with his son 20 years ago, and his son now runs the company. And he remembered everything I taught him. So the takeaway is you can be as successful as anybody that you know, but if you start dabbling around with weed, alcohol, cocaine, whatever it may be at a young age, man, the word of warning is you don't know what's going to come and bite you in the ass later in life when you are allergic to it and you tweaking and geeking in a hotel room, disappeared from your family, broke as a stroke, dope man got your car, and you're scratching your head going, what in the world just happened? So I went from being all that in a bag of chips to, man, you got to go. And I lived that way, unfortunately, for 10 years. And when I tell you I had to sleep outside, in the backyards of AA shelters and stuff like that, man, it's made me who I am. But holy guacamole, guys, I'm telling you, somebody's got to hear that no matter how far down you are, God is the only one who can repair that stuff. Okay, my family disowned me. My daughter didn't want me at her wedding. You think about how that hurt. Okay, and again, if it had not been really for the prayers of my mom lifting me up, keep me alive, and so forth. And again, you know, none of us know that when we get saved, that we ain't going on a cruise ship, we getting on a battleship. And I was never told. This whole 10-year experience started literally within 60 days of me getting saved at a storefront church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I mean, you'd like to think this is made up, but it couldn't be any more accurate. And I didn't know what was coming. I literally had a target on my back, and I could not understand how does somebody with a little bit of common sense and a college education end up running and living in the gutter. And finally, it took a court-appointed program called Drug Court that finally taught me how to live again with money in my pocket, of being accountable, and how to put the business back together. Now, do I make mistakes? Guys, every freaking day, okay? But God's mercies are fresh every day, and it's up to Him and it's to me to follow what his directions are. And sometimes, like men, we all think we got to go out and slay the dragon, right? But sometimes that doesn't work in God's economy. Sometimes you need to sit down and shut up, which I have a hard time doing sometimes. We all run a lot of different work-related activities, family. So it's, that reset button has to stay very close at hand. Otherwise, left to my own devices, I'm a train wreck. I say that acknowledged. So the only reason that I lead with this story, and the reason, Eric, I shared it with you, is because when God leads me to reach out, there's somebody at the other end of the line that needs to know it's going to work out even when no one is for you. God tells us He'll never leave us or forsake you. And He says clearly, I will guide you with my eye on you. So I can't, it ain't pretty, but glory to God, that I'm here to tell you, he is what he says he is.
Yeah,
I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart that I could have fixed it by my. I'm a smart guy. I ain't that smart.
yeah, we appreciate you for sharing that testimony. What advice do you have for the entrepreneur right now who's in the midst of that struggle? Like what can you speak directly to that person who may be struggling with substance abuse and they don't know where to turn or what to do?
It's, the key is that at the end of the day, your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, your dad, your child cannot fix you. That's the mistake that family members believe, that I'm going to give him $20, he's going to be healed. It took me many visits through county jails to be able for God to get my attention. He had to get me in a cement room and silence me, sometimes for a year at a time. I know the word pretty well. Instead of watching Jerry Springer, I studied. Okay. So I used the time wisely. It was Bible school with bars on the windows. Okay. So, it all matters of what are you doing with your time. So if you want to sit and cry in your cornflakes, it's going to be what it's going to be. You cry out to God and ask for that help. He's going to part the Red Seas for you. You may not see it today. We all impatient. We all want it now, right? But it took a long time for me to be I'm forged in fire and baptized in fire. And again, I gotta say it, man, ain't nobody perfect. I make mistakes every day. And the key is just keep getting up. Screwed up and you use today and you're homeless and hungry, God's gonna make sure that if you ask him for help, somebody gonna feed you. There's always a way. And at some point in time, because it happened to me older in life, you just get tired of being sick and tired, and you just look, I'm done. I asked God to stop my heart and take me home 2 different times, laying on a dirty, disgusting holding cell floor, and he didn't do it. Could be that it was for today, for somebody that's watching this show that's either wanting to check out, because I tried it, or they just wanted to give up. You can't, man. You can't. The only person that's going to help you is going to be God. If you are struggling and you're hurting, pick up the phone and call me. Eric, you give them my cell number, okay? I can't be any more upfront and in your face than that. That's how strongly I feel about this. Because such a time, this is what I'm supposed to be talking to you guys about. I know that for a fact.
So, go ahead, Ted. You're on mute.
It's that fancy mic, Eric.
Right. This you think we have it figured out by now, but it's just interesting just listening to you talk about this. And we were sharing earlier where everybody kind of has their story, right? Everybody's story wasn't rosy. Like they went through college, everything was great. They started their business and was successful and never had any issues. And there's some people out there that I'm sure that can, relate to your story, whether they're entrepreneur or not. Whether there's times that they felt like giving up, that things didn't, move as according to plan. And then, they just kind of, like Eric said in the beginning, you got up, you stood up, and your faith, helped to push you through. And I think those are the stories that a lot of people really need to hear, because it's not always the, that, perfect type of a story. And so we appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
So Tom, I'm curious to know, like what was your self-talk when you were in your low moments? Maybe it was in the jail cell, homeless shelter. Like what are some of the things you used to say to yourself to keep yourself inspired and thinking positively?
Well, I think it started at a young age. I was a seeker. Okay. I sought out, Think and Grow Rich and so forth. Because even though I had a college education, geology and calculus don't really help you. Okay. So once I graduated college is a great place to get a toolbox. It just teaches you how to find knowledge. Nowadays, save 80 grand and get Google, because it's the same thing. And it really is. So I had really received and given myself a PhD education in how to do stuff by literally listening and ordering cassette tapes from all of the old school self-help people. And it began to program my mind. But again, even with all that insight, I still felt I stepped on that trap. And what ran through my mind in those times of being locked up and so forth were I was developing resiliency. I had, obviously, with drug abuse, most people will struggle with depression. When they say depression hurts, it physically does. If you can imagine being in 100-foot hole and having no way out, that's what it felt like. So the only voice that I really got to hear was the voice of God. And I chased him by reading Christian books and encouraging myself in the Lord. And I don't want this to sound corny, but these Bible verses are the way we're supposed to live. And I think that without it, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all today. So what did I learn? I learned what I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. And I sat there and wrote business plans, marketing plans, legal documents for people that were in there for cartons of milk and ham sandwiches. So again, when you go out of your way to try and help people, God sees everything, man. He knows if you're ripping and running, and he knows if you're helping folks. Okay. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to try and help where I can. And what does it say? It says in the book of, bless the city of your captivity so that you too may be blessed. So you pray for them, folks, even though they treat you like crap and you hate them and they hate you and you're a number. You're in a place that is so desolate and so ungodly that anybody that I tried to be a light and continue to try to be a light in a very dark place. Somebody needs to hear it, I hope that answers correctly.
Oh, sure. And then you seem to have this uncanny ability to reach people and teach people. Was this something that just always came natural to you, or did you do specific things to work at it?
Well, think about this. If my friend Ted was strung out under a bridge shooting heroin, okay, do you think a pastor who has zero experience in addiction, who has no idea what it's like to be hungry and live in a cardboard box or whatever, can that pastor better reach Ted than I can? Because I've been there. It's up to reach the next guy out. And that's the difference. And that's pretty much what I've learned from pastors telling me, go in peace, be full and whatever, and pat you on the back and send you on your way. And you scratch your head going, I don't think that's really how God operates. The key is we've got to, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're trying to get out the gutter, you've got to take some sort of action, some sort of repeated action, and begin to believe that you can do it. You've got to have that confidence. I didn't have it. I used to teach, fake it till you make it. And that's pretty much what happens. If you believe you can do it, I have a vision board full of things that came to fruition because I set in motion to achieve them. And my brain thinks in pictures. Okay. Some people think analytically, they're engineers and so forth. When a client retains me or I have a project that I take on, I can see it in its completed form through God, and I know what to do to build it. That's the way I operate. So I try to, for the folks that don't have that gift, help them. And again, for your audience, I shared this with you guys earlier. If someone is struggling with their business, call me. If you're struggling with a life-controlling issue, call me. And I will take the time and I will help you. You can't pay me? I don't care. Just call me. Okay? And that's where this message, I trust, will become, a grassroots effort of paying it forward. I really don't care if you're going to pay for my meal in front of me at Wendy's or Chick-fil-A. Show me how to get out of the hole. Show me how to get out of trouble. And show me how to stop living like a freaking dumbass. Pardon me, but that's the truth.
Oh man, again, I truly admire how real you are and how transparent.
Buddy, I paid a big price to get here. And, I believe I honor God to the best of my ability. And that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And again, if somebody doesn't like what I've done in my past, you know what? Judge me when you're perfect. And, I'm not your people. Thanks. Just call me back when it hurts some more and you need my help. And I'll still help you.
And then so you're also a master sales trainer. You help people to close more business. So let's talk about that. Who is your
Sure.
typical client, and how specifically do you help them with that?
Well, the biggest challenge is most salespeople. I've done field training. I would go to a city, work with a CEO, get in the car, go out with the salespeople, and find out that even their best salespeople had no clue what was going on. They were afraid to walk into new businesses. And I'm scratching my head going, "This is your best salesperson?" They couldn't sell their way out of a paper bag. So the reality is a couple of things. Number one, people buy from people they like. Are you likable or are you a potato head? Seriously. What's Eric, what's the question I asked you before we started tonight about, I don't know if we talked about a lot, but what's keeping you up at night? Okay. So if you are solving problems for clients, they need you more than you need them. And that's always the position I want to be in. I want to be Deion Sanders negotiating for the Braves and the Falcons all on the same day. Wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to bring value. And that's what I put on my LinkedIn. I value sales and marketing coach. If you need stuff fixed, the problem is most people in my role are afraid to tell people the truth and step on their toes. Why? Because the paycheck don't stop. I've had clients that it took 3 nights of drinking beer in Arctic weather in Chicago before they finally said, "All right, Tom, we'll try it your way." And literally within 60 days, the company was in black ink, and the ability to be gutsy enough to tell a CEO that he's doing it wrong, and then they listen to you and it works. I mean, I'd rather have one of those than 3 yes man clients. I can't do it at this point. I'm too old, and I believe I've got too much value to help you. If you're not teachable, it's the first thing when we train people. We run a media company where we manage advertising assets throughout the country. And in order to work with us, I don't care how smart you are you teachable? I have to be teachable. I'm trying to educate myself every single day. And if you're looking to improve, man, you got my full attention. If you're not, ain't nobody going to be able to help you. So number one, people buy from people they like. Number two, about you. Nobody cares if you like the Braves. Ain't nobody care if you like anything. The customer, when 2 things. When you're talking to a prospect or a customer, if the spotlight's not on them, they might wondering, what am I having for dinner tonight? What do I got to get at public? They don't give a crap, okay? And people think too much of themselves in order to humble themselves, to help them. I've been humbled. I've had to scrub poop off of jail cell walls as a inmate worker. So God had to really get real with me to understand it ain't about me. And it's not about the salesperson. And most people seemingly don't want to serve the customer. They want to get paid. They want everything that comes along with it. But when it talks about time to go to work, well, I got to get my nails done. I got to go get my dry cleaning. No, you don't. So again, it's some basic hard facts. We go today, all 3 of us. We gonna go to Best Buy. We got to get a big screen TV. We walk in the store, and here comes Wally. "Hey guys, how you doing? We're running the big sale. I got whatever you." Oh my God, get away from me, dude. And then we walk in the next day, and we talk to some guy that says, "Hey man, we go. How can I help? We're looking for a TV. Look, man, I ain't gonna bother you, but if you want to know the guts, the make, and how these things work, and how to get performance, dude, come talk to me. I will tell you everything we need to know, and then you can make a decision for yourself." Who's more than likely to win the sale?
Oh, the latter guy.
Exactly, man. So sometimes it's such simple truths. And what I found with these big companies, man, they have no idea what's going on in the sales room, and their salespeople are bullshitting them till the day is over, just to protect a paycheck. And they going through the motions. And these people that they think are all that in a bag of chips are doing nothing but churning the same business over and over and not bringing in new business. I told you that story when I went to work for U.S. Media in Atlanta. I started with 1 billboard line. It was a Red Roof Inn. They billed $2,500 a month. Within 12 months, that's what I teach. You put your head down, you run with the ball for 12 months, and then you come up for air. And when you come up, you're like, holy crap, look what I've accomplished. I ended up building a book of business of $72,000 a month. That was basically the billing that the other 5 people had together. So I'm just dumb enough to go, all right, so at the end of the year, what's my goal going to be for next year? Well, my platform is double your sales. It can be done. I'll show you how. So I took a yellow Post-it note, took it out, put it on my little cubicle where everybody could see it, including me. I tell you, from the CEO to the finance people, the bookkeeper, all came by my desk and said, we don't even have enough inventory for you to be able to bill that much and make that much money. When I tell you, a year later, guys, I literally was $500 short of a $142,000 a month book of business. Can't explain it. Stuff just came. You didn't sell your client that billboard on the downtown connector in Atlanta. Guess what? I sold it out from underneath you because I was on point and you weren't. It's amazing what the human mind can create and accomplish if you program it the right way. It'll also, if you program it for destruction, it's going to deliver, because I did. So I've seen both sides of the sword. So when it comes to that can't be done, I can't make extra money, I call bullshit. So I'm telling you, try starting over with a nickel and nothing, and let me know how it works for you. It can be done. It can be done. Most people just a little too soft.
Oh man! And so you're the author of the book "Shut Up and Sell." So first off, how'd you come up with the topic or the title?
Well, it's, as you can tell, I'm a very quiet and reserved individual. Okay, I really don't speak my mind. And it's like, man, you're full of it.
This whole time I've been thinking, I'm like, man, this guy is really quiet and reserved.
All right, I'm going to reveal a secret that no one, aside from 2 people on this planet, know. Are you ready? And I'm going to bless you guys with this.
All right.
That book was a brainchild of mine. It was written in Rogers State Prison. I worked in the education department. I was one of 2 men out of 3,600 that got to work on a computer every day and teach GE. Wasn't on the internet. The instructor of the class gave me a flash drive. I packed it and sent it to my mom, and in there was the manuscript of that book. That book was all of my best stuff. Ted runs a car dealership in Minnesota. Look, man, read this. I'm going to tell you 23 years of advertising mechanics, not fluff, how to build your business. And guess what? If you don't want to do it, call me. I'll do it for you. It is a sales brochure of all my best stuff. But if you don't want to do it, call me and I'll do it for you. Most people use, how many webinars do we go to? So you can sit and have somebody hustle you. Man, I don't want to be hustled. I'll give you my best stuff. If it helps you, awesome. If you want me to help you even more, call me and I'll help you. But it was something that I had the time to write it. I got to kind of pull out all of my time on the streets, working and talking to customers. And, to this day, and again, let's go back. Guys, anybody that's listening to this show, if you'll write to me, Eric, or Ted, I will send you an ebook for free and you can judge for yourself. I've taken one simple email hack and installed it in sales departments and literally doubled their response rate to sales calls via email without talking to anybody. So this is not meant to brag. These are things that I learned and feel like it's like anything. If you've been through a plane crash and you're the only survivor, man, you want to tell somebody about it, right? I mean, that's the platform. And if you're able to help other people be able to provide for their family because you cracked the code and you figured out how to do it, I mean, I can understand. This ain't a ploy to make money. I get paid. If you want my services, you're gonna pay me for it, and you're gonna get your money's worth. And if you don't, I'll give you your money back. I mean, that's the way things should be. Is it a fit every time? No. Does everything work all the time? No. Do some things have a pretty high probability of success? Yeah. So you guys, that's a first on nationwide air. That's the backstory of that book.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Want some more?
That's incredible. So what are some other things about the book that make it different from the other books that are out there on the topic of growing your sales?
Because I think that there are specifics on how to, on how to, if you run an oil change shop, you are proficient and excellent at doing that. Does that mean that you're a brilliant marketer? Probably not. Okay. So if you've got somebody that's willing to tell your truth, that dude, your advertising sucks. Here's why. You're not going to sell more Chevrolets with a picture of your kid on a freaking pony on a billboard. Okay. Save your money. And nobody's willing to tell a client that. I am. I don't care. I'm going to tell you. And I tell you, I'm able to pick up the phone and get a car dealer on the phone on a sales call because I can speak their language. Do you know why car dealer, that no sales rep and people are afraid to call on car dealers? It's a loaded question, but I'm going to throw it out there.
Why they're afraid to call on them?
Why is a salesperson intimidated by walking and banging on the door of Tom at Tom Pilotti Chevrolet? Why are these people so intimidated by that?
It could be a lot of things. I mean, I think it could be just fear of rejection, or it could be a multitude of things. What are you finding?
Well, the majority of the problem is that if you're going to call on somebody with advertising or a sale or a solution, if you don't know their business as well as they do, then they're going to blow you up in a minute. I've been in the car business and was able to walk in and talk to them in their language. Why? Because I took it upon myself that I'm going to be as good as you. And car dealers, think about it, as advertising prospects, they've seen it all. They've done it all. And most of it based on vanity. And here comes somebody that's going to teach them how to sell 30 more cars a month by advertising on a digital billboard on I-7 in the heart of New Jersey, and tell them how and why. And now all of a sudden, I sold a billboard and within 4 minutes one time in the doorway of a guy's office, only because I was there. It was 2 shotgun blasts to the head because I was there to help him, and I told him how to sell more cars. Whether he bought from me or not, I left the idea. He's like, I'll take it, send the contract to me. And that was it. And again, this is not an ego thing. This is a matter of, do you want to be the best in what you do? And it started with in the billboard business. Okay, when I started with 3M, what was my goal? I'm doing this and learning. I'm like, you know what? I want to be the #1 billboard guy in the country. And guess what? That's what I became. I put my mind to it. The radar was set on autopilot, and I did everything I could hear in my internal guidance system to make that happen. Now, my goal is to be the #1 speaker brand in the world. Is it going to happen? Probably. And it's probably.
You bring up an interesting point. What are some of the things you've done to get up to speed on the client's business, the prospect's business? Because I think that's important. If you've got the product knowledge and you know their business and you've done your homework, you're going to be more confident and less afraid of the failure. So what are some things you do to get up to speed?
Okay, well let me take it right out of the seminar. Okay, so if you guys want to be proficient in being a lawyer, okay, what do you study? What do you study?
Law.
You want to be a medical doctor and you want to be the best bone surgeon in the world. What do you study?
Bones.
If you want to be the best advertising guy on the planet, what do you study?
Advertising.
Do you know how many people can't answer that question that are in the advertising business? They don't have a freaking clue. You're coming in trying to sell me something because you got a short skirt on? Get the frick out of here, man. That shit used to work a long time ago. I promise you now, it don't work no more. How versed are you in being the absolute best in your business? I decided I wanted to be the best, and I studied it. Right now, we have a wonderful online encyclopedia called Google. You can find anything you need to know in 10 seconds. So that's the takeaway. If you want to be the best, every time I went to work for a company, I wanted to know how the #1 salesperson, how much Ted Falls was making, and I chased him heart and soul just so I could beat him for all the right reasons. For all the right reasons. I knew if Ted was going to make 70 grand a year, it was possible, and maybe I could make 100.
But Tom, right? To me, that's such a basic thing that you should do your homework on the industry if you're trying to sell something. But I'm so amazed at the people who will interview with me, let's say, for a position,
Right.
and they haven't done their research on me. They haven't done their research. I'm just talking about that. Why doesn't that happen more?
I think people are just complacent. I've stood in a room full of salespeople with CEOs and marketing directors and asked reps, "Hey man, how much is a full page ad in the Detroit Sun Times? How much is a radio spot 60-second on Morning Drive on WKRP?" Dude, not one of them. I tell you, it's sad. Not one of them had a clue. How can you compete in your vertical if you don't know what it costs for your competitors? How are you going to make a value assessment to a customer that says, I can provide 10 times value because I know what you're doing. I know what it costs. I mean, even at a rough planning cost, you have to know your way around that. So, again, Eric, it's exactly right. It's common sense. But these people, as I refer to them lovingly, they're bobblehead. Yeah, how you doing? Is it a great day? Can I get get the frick out of here, man? I got time for that shit. Seriously. And that's literally the level of play out there, and it's amazing. And you know, I was a consultant to one of the biggest billboard companies in Chicago. Yeah, these guys were great, but they were clueless, man. And they asked me to be in charge of procuring and hiring new reps. My biggest success story was we interviewed this girl. She lit up the room. Okay, I taught her. I reprogrammed her hard drive. Zero advertising experience. She was a part-time substitute school teacher in Chicago in a Catholic school. She sold a $102,000 ad contract in 14 days. Come on, man. So, I mean, and that's one of the things I think, I don't know the demographic of your audience, but if there are young people out there listening who really kind of like don't know what they want to do, let me tell you from experience, my friend, get a job in sales and decide to be the best you can be, and you will make more than a doctor and a lawyer or close to it. And you will never have to worry about finding a job for the rest of your life. Forget my daughter, God bless her, she's an accountant. She's a pro bean counter. But at 32, she had enough of it, man. I mean, in the sales domain, if you're having a boring day, it's your fault. It's the most creative occupation on the planet. And I choose and recommend advertising because you've got the biggest canvases in the world to create and sell what you create. That's the key.
Do you run into people that have like a negative belief system around the word sales? Like they feel like if you're selling, you're being unethical, or they say they don't like sales. Do you run into that much?
Enough so that where people with a exceedingly high enthusiasm level can easily be categorized as car salesmen, slimy car salesmen. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, the root of the word enthusiasm, okay, I think it's Greek or Hebrew, man, I don't know, but it's the word en theos, which means in God. So if you're enthusiastic, like you guys are, that's God's power in you popping out of you, man. And you're harnessing that power. If you're not enthusiastic about life, go to Walmart and hand out yellow stickers until you learn to have a personality. Seriously. And that's what it comes down to. Are you excited about life? I mean, we all have setbacks and challenges, Thank God for my wife, Lisa, because she blows sunshine up my butt every day when it looks like, holy crap, how am I going to turn this thing around? Seriously. So you've got to stay on target. And again, you gotta walk the walk and talk the talk. And there's just seemingly very few people that do that. But the category of sales representative or salesperson in the right company with the right pay plan will make you more money than you thought of right out of college. You just got to do it, man.
Wow.
Sure. All right. So we are coming up to Ted's favorite part of the show.
Oh, man, you're going to make fun of me. I feel it coming.
Now we call it Write This Down. This is each go around and leave one closing takeaway that we want the entrepreneurs that follow us to write down so they can level up based off of what we talked about on the show. Well, Tom, you've shared a lot with us in a short period of time. But what's that closing takeaway you want to share with our people to help them to level up? What should they write down based off of this episode?
You both got pens in your hand?
Oh, absolutely.
Believe it and achieve it. That's it, man. Set a target, write it down, and let it consume your being. And whatever you do, take those next step actions. It's been again, for someone who started repeatedly with nothing and you set a target, your brain subconscious will guide you to the target, but you have to have a destination to program into that computer. And if you don't, you're just going to wishy-wash all the way around and continue to go around the mountain again and again and again. Set your mind to something, set a target, and then work your fanny off to get there. It is that easy.
Believe it and achieve it. Write that down. Fantastic. Thank you.
So my write that down for this show still comes back to again, I've said this before, is that your journey is not everyone's journey. Tom has shared so eloquently what he had to go through to get to where he is, right? And to be honest, Tom, I'm sure that if you said this to anyone to take your trip, your journey, they'd probably be like, no, I think there's much easier paths that I would like to go to get to success. But whatever your path is to get to success, that's your path. That's your, faith and hustle together, to get there and to persevere no matter what you're faced with. And if you can hear a person like Tom share what he's been through, right, to get to here, then I'm sure there's someone out there that's gonna, and our listeners that are gonna look at that and say, you know what, I may have thought my situation was really tough, but it's nothing compared to what Tom has gone through, and others that we've had on this show that have had various areas of adversity, and then we're able to be successful there. So yeah, so my write this down is your journey is your journey, right? And this story was inspirational, it was encouraging, and thank you, Tom, and that you could tell that story without breaking any of the bad our bad word rules throughout the season. I thought was amazing. I'm totally joking with you, Tom. You broke our bad word rule a couple times. This is a kids show. It's a kids show. We got children on here.
Amen. and forgive me for breaking 2 times, but as much as I try to suppress it, that emotion comes out, man.
No, just kidding. No, it was great. It was great. Thank you again.
You're welcome, Ted. Thank you for the compliments. And again, guys, just to make sure that anybody who was kind enough to tune in and watch this show, would like a copy of the free book. Eric, if you guys want to put that email, it's tom@tompilotti.com. If you have a question about your business and you'd like some advice, Eric, please give out my cell number. Look, it's that important to me. You guys were gracious enough to give me a platform. I would like to return that favor in spades. If you've got a family member that's out in the mess and you don't know what to do, I can't fix it, but I'll tell you who can and give them my stuff. You sleeping in a gutter and you hungry? You need a job? You call me and I'll put you to work.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Appreciate that. And then before we close the show, we'll give you yet another opportunity to mention that so people can take advantage of that and inquire about your services, get your book and all of that too. So we said, as far as write this down, believe it and achieve it. We've said that your journey is your journey. You shouldn't feel bad about it. I think everything just happens for a purpose, right? You have to believe everything is happening for you. and not just to you. My write this down is, it goes back to what you were saying, that people need to be coachable, and those are the people that succeed. Well, one of the things I've discovered with people that are highly successful is that they're both confident and coachable at the same time. So on the one hand, they're confident, like they can be in a rock bottom situation and know that they can get out, and know that they have what it takes, and know that it's still possible. But they're also coachable to say that I need to listen to somebody who's already been to where I'm trying to get.
Right. Exactly.
I have to keep getting better. You know, I need a consultant. I need a coach. I need a mentor. I need to get in a mastermind group. So I think that balance is so critical, and I think it ties right into our theme about achieving what's possible after hitting rock bottom. I think if you can remain confident and still be coachable and still listen to someone like Tom, you can certainly move forward. So write that down. You have to be confident and coachable.
Hashtag swagger.
Hashtag swagger. You know, the swagger is critical, right? Because
attitude is everything.
you're humble. Sometimes it's like, no. I mean, I think you have to have that swagger to get to that next level too, but you need to be able to be coached.
Amen. And guys, you got the message. So obviously, again, I try to communicate these things in a way that anybody can embrace, and it's truly from a heart of wanting to help people. And when you walk that out, man, God's never going to drop you. He should have dropped me many times, okay, but he hasn't. And I tried to, walk in the grace that's been given to me so many times for all the mistakes that I've made. Just never give up, man. God will always make a way where there is no way.
Sure.
Hey, before we go, say hello to Lisa Pilotti. She's not feeling well tonight, and she's listening. She's my coach. She puts
Hey,
up
Lisa
with
Pilotti, hope you feel better. Hope you feel better.
Gray hair. But she puts up with a lot, and she is an angel that was sent into my life by God. So
That's great.
The fact that you guys are faith-based, Eric, as I told you when we started, man, I was so delighted when you guys took me up on my invite. I hope I wasn't too much for y'all. I am for some. They ain't my people.
No, it was great. Thank you so much.
Anything I can do for you guys, Eric, please give out my information. Anybody that needs help, man, I'm a phone call away.
Yeah, so one more time. Go ahead, tell everybody how they can connect with you, get your book, reach out to you.
Okay, so if you would like a free copy of Shut Up and Sell, it's on Amazon for $15. I'll send it to you in an email. Write to me at Tom Pilotti. It's Pilotti. It sounds like the exercise, but it's spelled like the Sopranos. Okay, Derek got that one earlier. My website is tompilotti.com. You can order the book there. And if you need help with your business, if you need to find out how to generate more business, if you in the mess or you have a family member in the mess and you just need someone to give you some hope, call me and we will help you.
Wonderful.
Great. Again, we want to thank Tom Pilotti for being our guest today and sharing what he shared. And don't forget to share the show.
Amen.
Share the show.
Hit that like button. Share that show. Spread the good news.
It's funny, Eric. I was somewhere having a breakfast yesterday, and someone saw me. They're like, "Share the show." So funny.
That's the T-shirt, guys. There it is.
Share the show.
Perfect. It's really perfect.
Share the show. Well, this has been a fantastic episode of the 30-Minute Hour Podcast. We told you it's not your everyday podcast.
No.
And you guys deliver on exactly what you promised. Great job, guys. Great job.
You made it easy for us. Thank you so much, Tom.
For sure.
God bless you guys. Continue the great work. You guys need anything whatsoever, call me, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Absolutely. God bless.
God bless. Thank you so much.
Don't forget, you can check us out, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of those other places you like to consume your podcast content. That's our show for today. Until next time, have a great one.
Amen. Guys, thank you so much.
Take care.
See y'all.